Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the match preview for Collingwood versus Geelong this Saturday night. It's funny, isn't it? We always seem to see Collingwood and Geelong within relevance in terms of the upper echelons of the AFL table. You want to go back 10 years, 15 years, they were always around about the mark, and nothing seems to have changed since then. Another story going into the game would be Jack Crisp breaking that games in a row record, overtaking Jim Stein's, the legend he is. Ask yourself, what is? I suppose they're equally impressive, but when we weigh it up, you say, what's more impressive? Was it the fact that Jim Stein was able to do it with limited resources in terms of health and conditioning and strength and conditioning, longevity, or is it more impressive that Jack Crisp has been able to do it in a game where there's a lot of running required? It's a high skill ceiling and probably a bit more training than what Jim Steins was doing back in his day. So I'll leave that to you guys in the comment section. You tell me what was more impressive, or what is more impressive, the feat that Crisp has got or the feather in Jim Stein's cap. Which one's more impressive? Anyways, they're all... The fact that you play 200 and whatever amount of games in a row is just absurd, especially in AFL. It's like 360 contact, like it's unbelievable. But I hope he goes well. Crisp is just one of those guys who, put him in a different team, he is your starting midfielder week in, week out. We saw what he did last year when we had players like De Goey and Pendlebury out in the midfield, still side bottom, sort of hadn't graced the role just yet. He was sort of getting into that. This guy sacrifices a lot, and we mention still side bottom in the same breath because look what side he's done for the last 5-6 years playing as a winger, sacrificing his ability to impact the game for the betterment of the team. This is something that Jack Crisp still does to this day. Very rarely is he the guy. He probably had a little bit more airtime when he was playing off the half-back flank with Nick Dacos in 2023. And we'll be forever grateful for the final series that Jack Crisp had. What was he, the finals player of the 2023 year, wasn't he, for Collingwood when it came to the best and fairest night? So yeah, he's done great things. He will continue to do. He's a mainstay in our team, and wherever he's asked to do a job, he would do it, and he does it and sacrifices his numbers. And he's probably sacrificing a better contract elsewhere, much like many other players in the team right now. So, yeah, full credit to the lads, cliche. Full credit to Jack Crisp for what he's been able to achieve, and hopefully he can add a few more to that streak and make it, just impossible to reach. You would have thought the Steins record was already hard enough. Well, Crisp is making it even more difficult, but going into this game, obviously Collingwood are in a pretty comfortable position ladder-wise. Now I feel like what comes into play is that mental task within the Collingwood players and maybe the coaches as well, is how do you get the boys up every game, week in, week out. You've had massive showcase games, Bulldogs, 100x years, whatever it was, Anzac Day, Easter Thursday, gather round, opening round. And now we're probably going into a time where we're looking at going into games where they're not like, obviously every game Collingwood plays in, it's big time, but it's not to that level. So how do you stimulate these guys? And with the record looking favourably on the ladder right now for Collingwood, and then you add in the fact that we're going to be going to Perth next Thursday, it's like, how do you get these guys up for it? And that's the problem with peaking too early. I think there is that mental element where it gets a bit tricky. Collingwood did manage to... Well, Collingwood went a similar way in 2023. No, we started strong, really strong. Probably didn't lose until, I think it would have been maybe... Don't quote me, but I think Queen's birthday. It was quite a large winning streak before we had conceded defeat. So... And then we lost a few games in a row towards the back end of 2023, and we still managed to win the grand final. So are we trending that way? Should we have solace in knowing that we've been where we are right now. We've already been, so we know how to manage the emotions that come with it, or the lack of emotions at this point in time. What are we, 6-1? We could be 7-1 after this game going into Perth. There's a lot of things to be not worried, but cognizant of. And you just, as a fan, I'm just hoping that Collingwood can go out on Saturday night and continue to have a crack, continue to play with the same rigor that we've presented with, and the tactical acumen that has been utilised through the means of a Scott Pendlebury, through the means of a Fly McRae and Boydie and Ruffhead and Selwood, everyone else in between. So that's what I want to see. I want to see just how do you get this going. I mean, we're slowly getting into the colder months of the year, so that comes into play. It's like how do we get over all these little humps? And I know the club will be looking at their fixtures in stints, right, in blocks. So if we have a look at our fixture now, I just want to double check or just see where we're at fixturing wise, because beyond the Fremantle game, my memory doesn't let me travel too far beyond that. So we got Collingwood, Geelong Saturday, Freo in Perth. So we're also coming off an 8-day break. So you play two sides to this sort of story. You could argue Collingwood have had 8 days from Friday through to this Saturday after the Anzac Day game. Are they going to be a little bit flat? Or you could also make the argument that the Pies should be up and about. They had a long extended break, which they very much needed, and they take that into the game against Geelong, who were disappointing against Carlton. Very disappointing. I'd hate to lose to Geelong after Carlton beat them, by the way. Absolutely would hate that. Take that as you will. So, Freo after that, and then we go right back to a 5-day break. No? Thursday to Saturday, that's another decent break, actually. So, you go Saturday into Thursday, which is 5 days, and then Thursday into the following Saturday, which is a 9-day break. So there are breaks there for the Pies. There is respite, and you'll probably see players be rested at certain points, whether it be for the Fremantle game or if they think that 9-day break between the Dockers and the Crows is enough for the lads. And then you got North Melbourne at Marvel. Yuck. Saturday night. Gross. And then Hawks. And then D's. So that is the lay of the land. I'm wondering who gets the Dangerfield assignment when he's playing forward. Jeremy Cameron, Shannon Neal. They've got some threats, and certainly, they can score in many different ways. But we also have versatility in the way we can set up defensively. We all know who Isaac Quaynor played on last year, late in the year against Geelong, and that was one man in Jeremy Cameron, and I thought Quaynor did quite well. I think if Dangerfield is giving us dramas, you play Howard in? Probably not. Bruzzy, you could make an argument. It definitely won't be Billy Frampton. I think Billy Frampton will play on like a Shannon Neal. Yeah, it'll be tricky. Those matchups will be tricky, and I'm particularly looking forward to the Ned Long and Tom Atkins. I want to see if those two end up matching up on each other, or do they go to the opposition's best midfielder? Does Ned Long go to a Max Holmes or a Bailey Smith, and who does Tom Atkins go to? Nick Dacos? Or do they just fight fire with fire and just match each other? That would be an interesting one. Is there anything else that I'm sort of thinking about going into this game? It's all smooth sailing. Like, people ask, is the lid off yet? And some are saying, one more win and a little bit off. I think the lid's off. With respect to the nature of sport and with respect to the AFL, Collingwood have been in many winning positions in seasons gone by, recent seasons gone by. So I feel like as a fan base, we just know how to temper our emotions. That's how I look at it. The lid is off, but we're just sort of riding the waves of these wins. Never too high, never too low. And I guess I'll finish on that. We got Moving the Magnets. By the time you see this, you probably either already watched Moving the Magnets. The sides have come out. We're talking Westy, Coxie, shooters available. Darcy Moore comes back in. So there's a few moving parts there, and we'll find out a little bit more in the next hour or so. So we'll see you at Moving the Magnets, and if not, we'll see you at the pre-game show and the post-game show. Go Pies.